Hello everyone, and welcome to the Week 9 update for Strikeout. This week, I started the week by doing some fixes for the battle system, and that included on leveling up, you increase the health and the energy of each of your players, and then I fixed some turn order problems as well, and then after the battle was done, I reset the turn state so that way you can enter into a second battle once the battle was done. I also created an array of attacks for the enemies to pull from, so that way it's not just the same standard attack. They're pulling from, I think it's 8 of them right now that they could choose from. Each of them has varying degrees of damage that they can apply to each of the batters. I also started to build the elevator, and that included the elevator and the caution tape that goes outside of that to sort of access the second half of the level, which is in the top tier. Chris helped me work on some singleton problems and some don't destroy problems, as well as adding some cheats so that way I can get through testing much faster than I was doing it on my own. And also the singletons and the don't destroys also allowed the game to actually be playable, so that way it's not creating multiple instances of items that should only have one instance. I began work on the coding side of the elevator, and that was a pain. It should not be that difficult, and I'll demonstrate that here in a second. Rock Lee also created some training area music, as well as cleaned up some of the code that was in there for it. So that was really helpful, and I'll show that off here in a second. And then I was still trying to work through that elevator, because apparently going straight up causes too many problems. And then I went through and I started to overhaul the boss battle for our first mini-boss. So that included animation side of things, as well as trying to just get to him and adding an ability to attack multiple people at one time. So now, instead of just being able to attack one person, he can attack all of the players. And then I also cleaned up the animations and got the UI to be displaying correctly. So that were the contributions for this week. Let's jump into the game aspect of it. So I want to first talk about how we can attack a set of enemies, and then they can demonstrate what attack they are using. So in this instance, we have 3 enemies, and I will just do a random attack on one of them. So we're attacking it, and oops, we killed that one. That's fine. They're going to attack. Minor 1 attacks closer with shagging. So that would be the list that they're trying to be pulling from, and that's the attack that they are doing. So let's try this again, and we're going to head on over to the elevator. I just didn't want to finish out the fight. Bear with me just 1 second here while I race on over to the elevator so we can demonstrate what we're looking at there. So the elevator is going to be unlocked after we finish the first mini-boss, and I'm going to use a cheat right here to unlock it right now, and I'm going to step in it, and it changes my camera angle, and it starts moving, and it is just being a pain right now. Let's see where this ended up. There we go. Okay, so now we're at the top floor, and it just sort of pushed me out of the elevator, but I am on the top floor. Sometimes I just drop through it, sometimes the elevator stops, sometimes it goes too far. I don't really know what's going on, so that's going to be something that I work on in the future. I also want to demonstrate the training music that Rock Lee dropped in. So let me spin around here, and I'll increase the volume here. And return to training. So we have some marimba percussion tones going on underneath everything, and he also added sounds to our pictures over here, if you can hear them. So it's a much calmer tone, which is very much appreciated. And then I also want to jump into the boss fight, and I want to demonstrate what all's going on there. So normally, there's a set of keys that you would pick up to unlock this gate, but I just slid the gate over so that way I can come down and access it. Right now, when you come close, the manager's going to tell you that this is your first battle. Be going against the minor league strongest batter. They don't have any scouting reports on them because you can't buy this one in the store. And they wish you the best of luck, and now we sweep into the battle aspect of it, and his animations are working, his UI is working. So let's take a shot here. We're going to attack. I'm going to do a little bit of damage there, and it's going to come over to the middle reliever turn, because that's the turn order for one opponent, would be the first two pitchers, the opponent, and then the last two pitchers. So let's try a slider here. We'll see what goes on. Do some damage there, and now it's going to be his turn. Shagging, so it damage, 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 and damage. So now we're going to swing back over to the setup. I know my camera isn't great, but we're going to be able to attack again. And this guy has 100 hit points, so he's one of the strongest players that we currently have in the game. And I want to finish the fight so it can show that the experience system is still working and all of that. So bear with me just one second. I want to finish out the fight. Currently I can just cheese it by using the curveball because that's a little overpowered based on how strong he is. I plan on increasing his strength again. And he's going to have more than one attack. I just wanted to demonstrate the capability of being able to attack multiple times in one attack. So we're almost there. Should be just another hit or two. So because he is a stronger boss, that also means that he's giving out more experience. Because of that extra experience, he's going to allow all of the players to level up from level 1 to level 3, so we can see 2 sets of a level up. So we have 6 points to give instead of the normal 3. So let's dump a couple here, maybe a couple there. Let's dump all of those into agility. Let's increase our change up here, and let's give most of these to fastball and 1 to slider, and now we reset, and my position didn't save, but I managed to finish the fight, get out of the fight, and everything's still functional. We have our health that's saved, and let's come back and go into the training area. We can hear Rock Lee's music once more, and it reset our health here, I believe. And we can look at our training room, and we can also see that everything saved for the strengths of each of the pitchers. And now let's see if I can come back into the level. Do this, and he will tell us what level we're going to, and all of our health saved. So that is the current state of the game right now. If we were to pop on over to the Trello board, we're running just a hair short on time here. What is that, like a month and a half left? This week I'm going to finish up the level design of the concourse. I planned on getting it done last week, but that didn't quite work out the way that I wanted it to. I want to get the opening cutscene-esque done. I already have an idea of what's going on there. I believe I dropped the notes in here if anybody would like to help me out with that. If anybody would like to help out on the animations or the voice acting or some of the audio for the radio announcer boss, that's going to be this week. And then I want to start to integrate the money system and the item system into the battles once more. I originally had that, but had to cut it when I added multiple enemies. If we're looking forward here, I decided to take out the clubhouse level because I have a stronger idea of what I want to do with the Hall of Fame or Hall of Elite Players type of level. So if I have time, then I'll come back and do the clubhouse level. But for the time being, I'm just going to go straight from the clubhouse to the Hall of Elite Players. I'm going to reuse the Major League players that I planned on using in the clubhouse, so we're just going to shift those two around. And I believe that is everything for my Week 9 update. I hope you guys have a good rest of your week.